I told them about us, and their eyes widened like they had just seen a secret they weren't ready for. I told them about us, and suddenly the room went silent, as if the air itself was holding its breath. I told them about us, and their disbelief was so intense it almost made me question reality. I told them about us, and some smiled nervously, as if they couldn't decide whether to be happy or horrified. I told them about us, and the energy shifted. People stopped talking and just stared, unable to process it. I told them about us, and their laughter felt awkward, like they didn't know if they should celebrate or judge. I told them about us, and one person whispered something that made everyone else freeze, their eyes wide. I told them about us, and I could feel the weight of their judgment. Even from across the room, I told them about us, and suddenly, all the secrets we'd been hiding seemed trivial compared to their reaction. Shock was so thick, I could practically touch it. I told them about us, and the whispers began almost immediately, like wildfire racing through dry leaves. I told them about us, and some couldn't hide their envy, while others couldn't hide their disbelief. I told them about us, and it was like I had thrown a stone into a still pond, watching the ripples spread. I told them about us, and I realized how many of them had been waiting for me to slip. I told them about us, and suddenly everyone's opinions felt heavier than they ever had before. I told them about us, and the silence that followed was louder than any words could be. I told them about us, and their reactions were a mix of shock, awe, and a little fear. I told them about us, and in that moment I understood who truly supported me and who didn't. I told them about us, and a few eyes narrowed, judging, while others softened with unspoken understanding. Like it couldn't contain everyone's emotions at once. I told them about us, and I could feel the tension in the air, thick enough to cut with a knife. I told them about us, and some tried to mask their surprise, but their body language betrayed them instantly. I told them about us, and the excitement on some faces clashed with the shock on others. I told them about us, and the room suddenly felt like a stage, with everyone as actors reacting in real time. I told them about us, and the disbelief in their eyes was matched only by the curiosity in their whispers. I told them about us, and I realized how small secrets can feel until they're exposed in front of everyone. I told them about us, and the energy shifted so drastically, I could feel it vibrating through the walls. I told them about us, and some looked like they had just seen a plot twist in a movie. I told them about us, and a few tried to smile, but it was the kind of smile that hides judgment. I told them about us, and it was as if the room itself was holding its breath, waiting for the next words. I told them about us, and some couldn't hide their awe, while others couldn't hide their discomfort. I told them about us, and suddenly I felt more exposed than I had in years. I told them about us, and the reactions came in waves, from shock to laughter to silent admiration. I told them about us, and I realized how fragile opinions can be when confronted with the truth. I told them about us, and it was like a bomb went off, scattering emotions everywhere. I told them about us, and I could see some struggling to find words, their minds racing. I told them about us, and it became clear who would celebrate our love and who would resist it. I told them about us, and a strange mix of envy and curiosity passed through the room like lightning. I told them about us, and suddenly every look, every gesture, every word seemed magnified. I told them about us, and I told them about us. Realize the power of truth even when it's shocking. I told them about us, and the reactions were unpredictable, raw, and utterly human. I told them about us, and I could feel the tension, the excitement, and the fear all at once. I told them about us, and some didn't even try to hide their fascination. I told them about us, and it felt like time had slowed, letting every reaction sink in. I told them about us, and the room's energy shifted, as if the walls themselves were listening. I told them about us, and a few faces betrayed envy, while others betrayed disbelief. I told them about us, and I realized how true has a way of revealing people's true colors. I told them about us, and some whispered to each other, their curiosity impossible to hide. I told them about us, and the reaction was insane, like nothing I had ever expected. I told them about us, and the room became a mix of emotions, some beautiful, some uncomfortable. I told them about us, and in that moment, I could see who truly cared and who just pretended. I told them about us, and the shock on their faces made me question if anyone would ever understand. I told them about us, and suddenly every laugh felt forced, every glance loaded with judgment. I told them about us, and their whispers spread like wildfire, igniting curiosity and envy simultaneously. I told them about us, and I realized how much power the truth holds when spoken aloud. I told them about us, and some froze, unable to hide their astonishment at what they just heard. I told them about us, and the room felt electrified, buzzing with emotions they couldn't contain. I told them about us, and one look from them said everything. They were impressed, confused, and shocked, all at once. I told them about us, and I saw envy flicker across faces. I thought I knew completely. I told them about us, and the silence that followed was louder than any reaction could ever be. I told them about us, and some tried to smile, but it was a smile that trembled with disbelief. I told them about us, and suddenly I felt like the entire room was holding its breath. I told them about us, and their reaction was a mix of awe, jealousy, and hidden admiration. I told them about us, and I could feel their curiosity burning through every awkward glance. I told them about us, and the way they reacted told me more than words ever could. I told them about us, and suddenly every secret we shared felt magnified, exposed to the world. I told them about us, and I could see some people silently celebrating while others silently doubted. I told them about us, and it was as if the truth had thrown a stone into their carefully constructed world. I told them about us, and the shock was contagious, spreading like a ripple across every face. I told them about us, and some couldn't look at me the same way again. I told them about us, and the room became a stage where every emotion played out in real time. I told them about us, and they felt heavy with disbelief and unspoken questions. I told them about us, and I could feel some trying to hide envy behind forced smiles. I told them about us, and their reactions were unpredictable, wild, and entirely human. I told them about us, and suddenly, I told them about us, and some leaned in, desperate to hear more, unable to resist curiosity. I told them about us, and the reaction was instant, raw, and unforgettable. I told them about us, and I realized how revealing a secret can shake the foundations of perception. I told them about us, and their eyes said more than their words ever could. I told them about us, and the energy in the room shifted, thick with surprise and fascination. I told them about us, and some faces betrayed admiration they thought they were hiding. I told them about us, and the room went quiet, like a storm had just passed overhead. I told them about us, and I could feel the tension, the excitement, and the fear mixing together. I told them about us, and a few couldn't resist whispering to each other, hungry for details. I told them about us, and it was like dropping a spark into a room full of dry leaves. I told them about us, and I watched their expressions change in seconds from shock to fascination. I told them about us, and suddenly, everyone's energy felt louder, more alive, more intense. I told them about us, and I could see some people silently questioning everything they thought they knew. I told them about us, and the room felt like it was vibrating with unspoken excitement. I told them about us, and some faces displayed envy so clear it was almost painful to watch. I told them about us, and the reaction was like a storm breaking through calm waters. I told them about us, and suddenly every glance felt loaded with curiosity, judgment, and intrigue. I told them about us, and I could see a mixture of and quiet excitement on every face. I told them about us, and their reaction was insane, unlike anything I had anticipated. I told them about us, and the room's energy shifted completely, as if nothing could remain the same. I told them about us, and some whispered, some gasped, and some simply stared, frozen in shock. I told them about us, and I realized how powerful a single truth can be. I told them about us, and their eyes told me everything, from admiration to jealousy to disbelief. I told them about us, and suddenly, every secret we shared felt like it had exploded into the open. I told them about us, and the room felt alive, buzzing with reactions I couldn't control. I told them about us, and some faces betrayed excitement they didn't even try to hide. I told them about us, and the reaction was so intense, it felt like time itself had paused. I told them about us, and their whispers spread, growing louder with each passing second. I told them about us, and I could see curiosity and devouring in their expressions. I told them about us, and their reaction was like lightning striking in slow motion. I told them about us, and the room went from normal to tense in a heartbeat. I told them about us, and I could feel eyes piercing through me like lasers. I told them about us, and a few couldn't hide their astonishment, whispering to each other frantically. I told them about us, and the disbelief in their eyes was almost tangible. I told them about us, and suddenly I felt exposed in a way I never had before. I told them about us, and the air was electric, as if reality itself had shifted. I told them about us, and some faces twisted in surprise, envy, and silent judgment. I told them about us, and the tension was so thick you could almost cut it. I told them about us, and whispers began, spreading like wildfire through every corner of the room. I told them about us, and the way they looked at each other said everything without words. I told them about us, and I realized just how unpredictable reactions could be. I told them about us, and suddenly, every glance and smile became charged with meaning. I told them about us, and a few tried to hide their curiosity, but failed miserably. I told them about us, and some couldn't stop themselves from staring in disbelief. I told them about us, and the room seemed smaller, as if it couldn't contain all the emotions. I told them about us, and some faces showed admiration while others glittered jealousy. I told them about us, and the silence that followed was deafening, almost suffocating. I told them about us, and I could feel their judgment mixing with awe. I told them about us, and it felt like dropping a bomb in the middle of their world. I told them about us, and every reaction told a story I hadn't expected. I told them about us, and the energy shifted so suddenly it was like a storm had passed through. I told them about us, and some tried to cover their shock, but it was written all over their faces. I told them about us, and I could feel the curiosity radiating from every corner. I told them about us, and suddenly everyone wanted to know more. Yet no one dared ask. I told them about us, and the intensity of their reactions was overwhelming. I told them about us, and I realized truth has a way of shaking the strongest walls. I told them about us, and some faces were unreadable, leaving me guessing their thoughts. I told them about us, and I could sense envy hiding behind a few forced smiles. I told them about us, and the room felt alive, buzzing with raw, unfiltered emotion. I told them about us, and the disbelief in the air was almost physically pressing against me. I told them about us, and some eyes widened in awe, while others narrowed in suspicion. I told them about us, and I could feel time slowing, letting every reaction sink in fully. I told them about us, and some couldn't stop whispering, trying to make sense of what I said. I told them about us, and the reaction was instant, unpredictable, and unforgettable. I told them about us, and the atmosphere changed, charged with anticipation and curiosity. I told them about us, and a few faces betrayed excitement they tried to hide. I told them about us, and suddenly, every secret we had felt magnified in the open. I told them about us, and I could see the mixture of disbelief and admiration flickering across faces. I told them about us, and the room seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the next word. I told them about us, and some tried to smile, but their eyes revealed everything. I told them about us, and I realized just how much curiosity and envy can coexist. I told them about us, and the reaction was wild, raw, and completely human. I told them about us, and the tension was so thick it was almost suffocating. I told them about us, and some looked like they had just seen a plot twist in real life. I told them about us, and suddenly, everyone's energy felt heightened, electric, impossible to ignore. I told them about us, and whispers grew louder as curiosity spread like wildfire. I told them about us, and I could feel the intensity of their eyes, heavy with questions. I told them about us, and it felt like reality itself had shifted in that room. I told them about us, and a few faces betrayed admiration that couldn't be hidden. I told them about us, and I realized that reactions reveal far more than words ever could. I told them about us, and some leaned in, desperate to understand, yet afraid to ask. I told them of us, and suddenly every glance and gesture carried enormous weight. I told them about us, and the room buzzed with excitement, disbelief, and silent questions. I told them about us, and some faces showed envy so clear it was almost painful. I told them about us, and the reaction was instantaneous, unforgettable, and charged with emotion. I told them about us, and I could see curiosity and shock battling in every expression.